What's going on, guys? So today was an epic day of Blu Ray and 4K buying. I've been slowly upgrading my collection of my old movies to Blu Rays and 4Ks, depending on the movie. I've been collecting movies for a long time, so I have a lot of old DVDs. But what I wanted to do is upgrade as many as I can and buy whatever new ones I can for a discount. So that's what I did today. I go to a record store called Mr. Cheapos where I sell my old DVDs, and then I use the store credit that I get at the store to buy new DVDs. So I have a stack of movies from Mr. Cheapos today. Then I have a stack of movies from Best Buy that were purchased between yesterday and today. And then last but not least, the Target purchases, because those three stores are my go-to for Blu-rays and DVDs. So that's what we do. So let's jump right in and see what I bought, right? What do we think I got? So for Mr. Cheapos, there's maybe like 2 or 3 new ones. The rest are just upgraded Blu-rays and that. So we start with the director's cut of Terminator Salvation. Yeah, that's a movie that I've seen. And I haven't seen the director's cut, so that's why I picked it up. So I figure maybe it might be better than the regular version. A sports movie that I love, The Replacements. Anyone who doesn't like The Replacements is an absolute clown. Shane Falco, one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of sports movies. So if you haven't seen The Replacements, get off your ass and go see The Replacements. A movie that I have not seen that I do want to watch is Real Steel. It's with Hugh Jackman, and it's a boxing movie, but it's a boxing movie with robots. So kind of like Rock'em Sock'em robots. So that sounds right up my alley. I'll watch that later today, maybe. An awesome thriller that was way before its time. That definitely kind of was like foreshadowing a lot of what we go through today in our post 9/11 world, The Siege. This is a really good movie with Denzel Washington and Annette Bening and Bruce Willis. It's made by Edward Zwick, who also did Last Samurai, Last of the Mohicans. No, I lied. Last of the Mohicans was Michael Mann, not Edward Zwick. But he did Last Samurai. That's all that matters. That movie is freaking amazing. This movie is also freaking amazing. Was not expecting much from it, and it turned out to be really freaking awesome. So you should see that. A movie that I have not seen but picked up because it was $2, Contraband. I am expecting this to be a usual Mark Wahlberg nonsensical action thriller. Yeah. The bad ones are bad from him, but the good ones are pretty good. I expect that one to land somewhere in between. A movie that I got for my collection to upgrade, but also for Heather, is Ghosts of Girlfriends Past. She is a big fan of this movie. I, too, am a big fan of this movie. This is a really good romantic comedy that does a really good spin on A Christmas Carol. He's basically a douchebag womanizer who's at his brother's wedding and is visited by his ghosts of girlfriends past to help him get his head out of his ass before he loses Jennifer Garner forever. So it's really silly, but it's also got some pretty funny moments in it. Michael Douglas is a hoot as the dude who raised Matthew McConaughey to be a womanizer. So it's a super funny movie that you should check out. A movie that I've watched once that I could not tell you one thing about the plot other than I know that I've watched it. Puss in Boots. Another one that I picked up because it was $2. I do have to rewatch this at some point. I'm sure I will, but who knows when that will be. Another movie that I've seen that I couldn't tell you one thing about the plot. The Penguins of Madagascar movie. $2, so obviously had to pick it up. I do remember this movie being very silly, but also really funny. I saw it in theaters when it came out, so that had to have been years ago now, right? When did this come out? Who knows? I want to say like 2013, but I could be like completely wrong. Oh, 2014. We were a year off. It's a funny movie. The penguins are the best part about Madagascar anyway, so I guess that was a good thing to make a spin-off. Um, Probably my last movie by Adam Sandler that I actually really liked. It is really bad. I recognize that it is bad, but I also love it at the same time. Blended. If you haven't seen Blended, I definitely recommend checking it out, especially if you like Adam Sandler and you can put up with his usual bad movies. This is definitely on the better side for me. This has a lot of really stupid humor in it that, I mean, he usually, most of his movies have stupid humor in it, but this stupid humor kind of hit the mark for me, especially with jokes surrounding the kids. He raises one of his kids, who's a girl, but he wishes, I'm guessing, that she was a boy. So she plays a lot of sports, like she's flat chested and everything. So a lot of people consistently mistake her for a man throughout the movie. And that leads to a lot of really funny jokes in it. So that's a solid Adam Sandler movie. Another one that I picked up for Heather that we're probably going to watch tonight because she was just talking about it. The Longest Ride. Scott Eastwood, Britt Robertson. I've never seen it. It's a Nicholas Sparks movie, so I am assuming it is like all Nicholas Sparks movies. But hopefully it leans on the more entertaining side than the shittier Nicholas Sparks sides. But I mean, I'll watch it. Scott Eastwood. Even if the movie sucks, it's really cool to see that we've hit like this new generation of actors that are just the kids of like some of the best actors of all time, like Clint Eastwood, one of the best actors and now directors of all time, and now you got his son being in movies. He's never really been in a good one, but he's in movies. Denzel Washington's son, John David Washington, in movies. Black Klansman, amazing. Tenet, very divisive, but I love Tenet. Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son, who was in a movie that we're going to get to later, and then also is huge now from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So it's really cool to see all these new generation actors that are just kids of famous actors, and they're just knocking it out of the park. Movie that I've never seen, but picked it up because it was $1. Heart's War. Bruce Willis, Colin Farrell war movie, so I assume it should be a somewhat decent. Mostly picked it up because it was written by Billy Ray, who is the writer of a movie that we're gonna get to later, also starring Wyatt Russell. And I picked it up because I love that last movie that I watched by him. So I figure, let's see what else he did. Another one that I haven't seen, but picked it up because I have the DVD and had to upgrade it. Hereafter, Clint Eastwood movie, directed and produced with Matt Damon. Never seen it, so couldn't tell you shit about it. That is everything that we picked up from Mr. Cheapos. They're always great. Everything was super cheap. I think the most expensive movie on here was Terminator at like $4. So pretty sweet. Now let's move this one over and we're going to get to our Best Buy collection of movies. Best Buy is the hot spot for me to go to pick up my 4K movies that I'm going for now. I know I just went like a 5, but 4Ks. So I spend a bit more money here, but still worth it. So let's dive in. I watched this movie last night, picked it up yesterday. 4K version of the movie Overlord. This is a movie that I remember seeing the trailer back when it was coming out in theaters, and it looked awesome to me, but I never actually got a chance to go see it because we didn't get it at my theater, and so that was a super bummer. But when I saw it here, I was like, I should pick it up, finally give this bad boy a shot. And I'm glad I did because this movie is freaking awesome. If you like war movies, if you like horror thrillers, this is a great movie. The tension in this movie throughout is just amazing. Wyatt Russell is in it. Really good. Written by Billy Ray, that we just talked about from Heart's War. So this is I can't recommend this movie enough. You should definitely check it out because I loved it, and I will definitely be watching it again. Upgraded my Apollo 13 to get the sweet 4K version. I freaking love Apollo 13, one of my favorite space movies about space exploration. Uh, yeah, that's all I got from it. It's an absolute classic. You got Tom Hanks, greatest actor of all time. You got Kevin Bacon, who's in everything. You got freaking Bill Paxton, the King, rest in peace. You got Gary Sinise and Ed Harris. Like, that's just an all-star cast right there. And it's directed by Ron Howard. So when Ron Howard is on, he is on. So definitely check out Apollo 13 if you haven't. Another 4K upgrade, Creed. This was also another really good movie. I love the Rocky and Creed movies. I just like, it's funny. I don't like watching sports at all, but I love watching sports movies. So go figure. Michael B. Jordan, awesome in this movie. He is definitely one of the best actors, young actors working today. And it's going to be awesome to see what other stuff he does. Another upgrade. This one I can't wait to watch because I fucking love this movie. Gladiator. I love sword and sandal movies. So this is right up my alley. It includes the unrated version. Didn't even realize there was an unrated version, but it's 170 minutes, so that's pretty awesome. The theatrical is only 150. So I'm glad that there's actually like a decent extended edition here, because nothing's worse than when you pick up a movie that says like unrated or extended edition and it's like maybe a minute longer or 2 minutes longer. The Fast and Furious movies do that all the time. I think I picked up Fate of the Furious that had an extended edition, and the theatrical was 2 hours and 18 minutes, and then the extended was 2 hours and 19 minutes. So really great additions there. But I'm super excited to watch this on 4K. This is going to look freaking amazing, and it's probably one of my favorite Ridley Scott movies, who I guess just does better work when he gets to do his vision. It's funny how they always butcher his movies on the cutting room floor. Movie that I haven't watched, but I picked up because it was only $5 at Best Buy, and I am an unabashed Gerard Butler fan. Hunter Killer. I'm sure this movie is absolute nonsense, as all of his movies are, but the beauty of Gerard Butler is he knows exactly what kind of movie he's in, and he's going to give you the goods. So I'm super excited for that one. Gary Oldman also in it, so how can you go wrong? All right, the last group now are my steelbooks. Some sweet, for people that don't know, steelbooks are these like awesome metal cases that have cool special designs on them. Just cool collector's items that I like to grab. So all of these are upgrades that I had from old DVDs that I upgraded now to 4K editions that are steelbooks. So starting off with this amazing cover is Jumanji. That is just the best cover I think I've ever seen for a movie. I actually had bought a Blu Ray version of this for $2 from Mr. Cheapos because I only had the DVD. And then, like, yesterday I found this at Best Buy and was like, well, this is obviously better. So I bought this and sold the Blu Ray already. So this is a really sweet one. I think that each one they have, yeah. So then they have the inside of the game rules in there in the cover. So they also have sweet designs on the inside to really make this bad boy pop. But that's Jumanji. I can't wait to give that a go. All these 4K movies I can't wait to watch with the 4K TV, so that should be pretty sweet. Another upgrade, Dread. This is a freaking phenomenal action movie written by Alex Garland, who is one of my favorite writers. He did Annihilation, 28 Days Later, Ex Machina. He is a really phenomenal science fiction writer. So if you haven't seen any of those movies, you should check that out. This very reminiscent of The Raid, a movie I watched not too long ago, but awesome in its own way. This is a really dope movie that if you enjoy action movies and just like balls to the walls insanity, you should watch that movie. Now on to my beautiful Up steelbook. It's got the sweet house in the front. It's got the grape soda emblem on the back. This is really cool. I really like this design. I also found out through buying these that apparently every Pixar movie has a steelbook. So now I have to go through the process of finding every single one of them because I want to complete that collection and get every steelbook. I have steelbooks for Up, Inside Out now, Toy Story 2, 3, and 4, and I think one other one. I don't know for sure though. But so I got a ways to go, but I'm definitely going to be collecting all of these. So the Inside Out one, really cool. Got Bing Bong on the back. I can't wait to watch this movie in 4K. This is my favorite Pixar movie. So that's going to be awesome. And then last but not least that I picked up from there is the 20th anniversary edition. I can't believe it's been 20 years since I've seen this already. Shrek. It's got this sweet cover. Beware the Ogre in the back. This is an awesome movie. I know I just did a video on the sequel, so hopefully they make a steelbook for the sequel as well, because that would be really dope to have those two in this collection. Because they have a 4K collection of all the movies, but I would like to at least have steelbooks for the first two. I don't really care so much about the second two because those movies aren't that great. So one last look, all of our Blu-rays and 4Ks from Best Buy, and that's that. Now, last but not least is our ones from Target. The one actual new movie that was released that I picked up, Judas and the Black Messiah. This is an awesome movie. Was just nominated for Academy Awards. Daniel Kaluuya won for Best Supporting, as he should, because he was freaking incredible in this movie. But I've talked ad nauseum about this movie, especially on my buddy Zago's podcast. So if you want to hear more about this movie, go check out the Link podcast and see our thoughts for that movie. So we won't spend too much time on that. And now, probably the piece de resistance of the last two, and I notice now you can see it in that bottom corner, so it's not even very much of a surprise anymore, is my Lord of the Rings theatrical and extended editions 4K Ultra. I am probably most excited to watch this out of everything. Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. These movies are amazing. I love the extended editions for these two, so I can't wait to watch all of this. I'm hoping that I can finally get Heather to watch these. Maybe the fact that it's an amazing, stunning 4K, I can finally get her to do it. Not the extended versions, because there's no way in hell I can get her to sit that long, but maybe the theatricals? It's possible. Fellowship, less than 3 hours. Well, 2 minutes less than 3 hours. Two Towers, 1 minute less than 3 hours, and then Return of the King, a little over 3. I think we can get her. I think it's gonna happen. I also really love this cover. It's just sick. So can't wait to watch that. And then the best, the Back to the Future 4K. I have been on a whirlwind journey with this. I had the regular DVDs. Then at a Target down the road from me had it on Blu Ray. So I got it on Blu Ray, and this was before I realized that my TV was a 4K TV, because I am an idiot and I don't know anything really about technology. But once I realized it was a 4K TV and I bought a 4K player, this Back to the Future was definitely a series that I wanted to have on 4K. And then when I was doing my shopping today, I was at a different Target, and that Target had this freaking beauty, which was them all not only in 4K, but in steelbook form also. So I knew the second I saw that they were all steelbooks, I was like, I don't care how much it is, I'm gonna pay it. And it has this awesome freaking cover where if you put all three next to each other, it makes the DeLorean, with all of the little bits and pieces of each movie, with the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, the flying car emblems, and the Hill Valley of 1885, I think it is. One of those, sometime in the Old West. And then you got Marty McFly as Clint Eastwood. Marty McFly in the future, and Marty and Doc when it all started. So this is a really cool collector's item, so I was just like, I have to do it, and now I will have to resell my Blu Ray that I got of it. So if anybody wants a Blu Ray, come buy it off of me. And that is all the buying I did between yesterday and today. Obviously, I've spent a ungodly amount of money, but I really only spend money on DVDs and traveling, so not a bad vice to have. One day I might do my entire collection. If you'd like to see the entire collection, just write it down in the comments and say it. Show me your collection. I've got a lot more work to do in upgrading all my movies, but slowly but surely we're getting there. I'm really excited because, like this Back to the Future one that has the 3 of these in steelbooks, Indiana Jones is releasing one on June 8th, which is all 4 of the movies in their own steelbooks. So I'm excited to get that. That'll probably be the next time I do a video of pickups, because I figure I should give it some time to pick up actual movies before I just show you like 2 movies and be like, it's the video, see you later. But yeah, that's it. If you like this video, check out the rest of them. My dog is down there, always up to no good, so I got to keep an eye on her. But yeah, look up for the next videos. Until next time, adventure.